What if I told you that your entire sense of self, that feeling of being you inside your own head, is actually based on a huge misunderstanding? Today, we're diving into a pretty radical idea from the philosopher Alan Watts that challenges the most basic thing we think we know, who we really are.
I mean, seriously, think about it for a second. Who are you? And I don't mean your name or your job or your hobbies. I mean that deep down feeling of me. What if that feeling, that core sense of self, is not what it seems at all? Okay, so let's start with a feeling we all know. It's so familiar, we don't even question it. Alan Watts had a great name for it, the skin-encapsulated ego. It's that deep gut feeling that you are a separate individual, a little consciousness locked inside a body, looking out at a world that is definitely, well, not you. So, when Watts talks about the ego, he isn't really talking about being arrogant, not at all. He's talking about this very common sensation, the feeling of being an isolated island of awareness, like you're a little pilot driving a body machine. And it feels completely, totally real. It feels like the most obvious fact in the world.
But here's the twist. According to Watts, this feeling, as deeply ingrained as it is just that, an illusion. It's a trick our mind plays on us, a very powerful and convincing one for sure, but still a fundamental misreading of how reality actually works. And this quote it hits the nail on the head, right? This is the default human experience. We feel like our skin is this solid boundary where I end and the rest of the world begins. But for Watts, this very idea, this sense of separation, is the real root of so much of our anxiety. Okay, so if that feeling of being a separate person is an illusion, then what's really going on? This is where Watts gives us this absolutely beautiful metaphor that can completely flip how we see ourselves.
Now, look closely at the shift here. It's so subtle, but it changes everything. The common view on the left is that you're like a single wave in the vast ocean. You're a separate thing. But Watts flips that completely. On the right, you aren't just a part of the whole. You are the whole ocean in the act of waving.
Think about what that really means for a second. It means you're not just some helpless thing being tossed around by the currents of life. No, you are the current. You're a fundamental activity of the entire ocean of existence. You don't just belong here, you are a direct expression of this place. All right, so if you thought the ocean metaphor was big, Watts is about to take it to a whole other level, to a cosmic scale. This next idea, this is where things get really mind-bending, and for a lot of people, incredibly free. Just let that one sink in. This quote is really the heart of this whole idea. Think about it. A tree growing apples is a totally natural process, right? An apple isn't some foreign object that invades the tree from the outside. It's just what the tree does. Watts is saying that in that exact same way, the universe peoples. We are what the entire universe is doing, right here, right now. I mean, just look at these parallels. It makes so much sense when you see it this way. An apple is a function of a tree. Rain is a function of a cloud. And you, a human being, are a function of the entire cosmos. All of it, concentrated right here on this little planet. You're not a fluke, you're a feature. And that is the crucial distinction. We have this feeling that we arrived into this world, like we're visitors or strangers. Watts says that's completely backward. You came out of this world, the same way a leaf comes out of a tree. You're a feature of the cosmos, not some kind of bug in the system. So, I know what you might be thinking. This is all very philosophical, kinda out there, right? But it actually has a huge impact on our day-to-day lives, especially when it comes to feelings like stress, anxiety, and just plain frustration. Let's connect the dots. So here's the trap we all get stuck in. Our little separate ego thinks it's the boss, the one in charge. So it tries to control everything, to bend life to its will. But the universe, the ocean, is way too big, way too complex for one little wave to steer. So when the universe doesn't do what we want, we feel anxious and alone. And what do we do then? We try to grip the controls even tighter. It's a totally vicious cycle. And Watts just puts it so bluntly here. Our internal struggles, our psychological pain, it comes from this fight that we can never win. It's like a single wave trying to command the entire ocean tide. It's completely exhausting and it's absolutely impossible. So, if all that fighting is the problem, what do we do instead? What's the alternative? Well, this brings us to the final and most liberating part of this whole idea. What happens when we finally let go of that illusion? And the answer is so simple but so huge. You stop fighting the current. You finally realize that you are the current. It's a shift from resisting life to participating in it, from seeing life as a battle to be won, to seeing it as a dance to be joined.
And if there's one thing to really get from all this, it's this. This isn't another self-improvement project. You don't have to become something different or better. The only work is to realize what's been true all along, that you are not just the small, anxious ego in your head. You are the entire universe experiencing itself right here through your eyes. It's about moving from anxious control to a deep, profound sense of trust in the flow of it all.
So we'll just leave you with this to ponder. What if all that energy you spend trying to fix and change and improve yourself is misplaced? What if your real purpose isn't to change who you are, but simply to realize the magnificent cosmic self you have been from the very beginning?